Hi, good afternoon and welcome to Homespun in Wales. My name is Dawn and I live in Carmarthenshire on a small holding in southwest Wales in the UK. Right, it's been 2 weeks since a video and the reason for that is I did do a video last weekend. Well, I sat here and I talked to the camera and I showed what I'd been doing. And when I came to edit it, to put it up, I realised I hadn't pressed record. And that was the next day. I didn't then have time to redo another video. It's been an exceptionally busy week. Ooh. So, yeah, so there was no video last weekend. Human error. So I apologise. Anyway, this week it looks like it's a 2-week catch-up. So I'm going to catch you up on the February box, and then I've got a few other things to show you as well. First off, I'm going to show you some finishes. My little Sashiko pincushion in its little wooden bowl is finished. So that's one off the list for February, which I'm excuse me, which I'm quite pleased about, that's over and done with. Another finish is the baubles, which are now all finished. All the trimmings are on, all done and dusted. The one that I had completed, I've changed the band on, so all three of them are matching, and I've added some beaded decoration, some gold cord, velvet ribbon, and a couple of little bells on the top. So that's them all done. So that's another tick in the box for this week. I got something there and I was trying to figure out what it was then. Right, the next thing, it's not finished but it's almost finished. These are hot pads and I use them on top of my cooker to protect the chrome on the Rayburn, and they're backed with toweling, and I had one where it had been a practice doing the binding on, so I took the binding off. I've redone the binding just with some scrap fabric that from the box, so that just needs hand finishing now, just tacking down by hand to finish it, and then that will be them done. The other bit of fabric that was with it, I don't know why that was there, because that's fabric left over from doing a bag, not from doing these. These are generally done with bits of, this one is ducks. I've got the ones I've got in the cooker at the moment are rabbits, and I've got another one which is all sayings about home. So I dug through my stash because I like everything in pairs, and I found another bit of fabric, so I've actually got a pair now, so that's quite nice. So toweling on the back, the binding's machined on, so it's just ready for a bit of hand stitching. So that'll be them finished. What else? The other bauble hasn't been finished. The other bauble is still waiting to be done, so I'll wait to show you that. The little cross stitch hasn't been finished either. The other, I haven't got it up here, I've got it downstairs. The other little project was the, I sent off for some Caron water lilies variegated thread to finish off a project that was started about 15 years ago, and the one that was sent, which I thought was going to be a match, wasn't, totally off, nothing like what I'd already been stitching with, so I wasn't prepared to spend out again on another skein of thread. So I've decided the little piece I've got stitched I'm going to turn into a needle book or something. So that one will be a bit of a fail. It won't be a finished project, but it will get used for something else. Now I was hoping by now to show you the 34-year-old cross stitch finished, but it's not. Nearly. All the animals are now in place, all the main picture is done, so it is just the border, and I've been working along the bottom here, so I've just got this little bit here to do, and up there's a little bit of the border to fill in up here, and that's it done. I haven't done any stitching in the evening for the past few nights. I've been quite tired, a bit headachy. I've had a lot of other things going on, so I've fallen a bit behind with my hand stitching. But tonight I do need to sit and do some stitching. The other thing that was in the project box of unfinished projects was, do you recognise them quilt blocks? There was the 4 quilt blocks. So I've put some sashing in between and a border all the way around, so it's ready to go on the long arm to be quilted now. And I was hoping by now to have had that done, but I haven't. So, but it will hopefully get done by the end of next week anyway. But it's all done. So that's another one of the works in progress, nearly finished. Now, the eagle eye behind you will see behind it. Let me just take this one off. Let's put that out the way up there. Right, this wasn't one of the works in progress, but this was the fat quarter quilt, work using 9 fat quarters from Days of Joy, and I did her quilt on. And I think in my last video I showed maybe the top all finished, and it was waiting to be quilted. I can't even remember if I had quilted it. Can't remember, but anyway, it's all quilted, minky backing on. I bound the minky over to form a nice soft edging, so that's all done, and this is going to be sent up to my great granddaughter. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. My first attempt at stitching it, of course, went a bit wrong, and I had to unpick it and redo it, but it's all finished now, and tomorrow or maybe the next day it'll be going in the post off to its new home. So that's that one done. So this is going off to little Isla May, who is now, I believe, a month old, and yeah, so I'm quite pleased with that. Now, something else I've been working on, which I've shown you bits of, and that was the Mandy quilt, and I've told you a bit of the story behind it. The Mandy quilt was a quilt top made for me by my friend Mandy, my sewing buddy, who lives, she lives over the other side of the country. And we're very good friends. We see each other every few months. I moved away, of course, and she does come up here quite regularly every few months. And 5 years ago, she was diagnosed with esophageal cancer. And they put her on chemo and radiotherapy. And Mandy's a very keen sewer, quilter, etc., crafter, just like me. And she decided to make quilts up for close family and friends. And she sent me my quilt, It was just the quilt top that she patchworked together with the backing fabric, and I was given it for Christmas 2021, and she hadn't completed it because she said, because I'm the one with the long arm, I could finish it myself. So I gave it some thought, and then I spoke with Mandy a good few months later and said I would like to turn it into a jacket when I do it, because that would be more use to me than a quilt, and it would be more meaningful to me. And she was happy for me to cut it up and turn it into a jacket. I never got round to doing anything with it, so that was December 2021. I suppose it was by the summer 2022 I decided what I wanted to do with it and discussed it with Mandy, and it has just sat there all wrapped up, just waiting, and I just couldn't bring myself to top quilt it and finish it off. It was like waiting. I was just waiting for her to go into remission, get the all clear from her cancer, etc. And I didn't want to jeopardize anything by finishing the quilt, because it was like putting an end to everything. And then June time, May, let's see, she comes up in February. She then comes up May, June, it would have been July time. She came up again last year, and she'd just had her last scan. This was the last scan before her 5 years all clear. So she just had her last scan, and while she was here she got the phone call to say she needed to go for a PET scan, because it had shown up something on one of her lymph nodes. She didn't get the scan. It kept getting cancelled for various reasons, and she finally got the scan and spoke with her oncologist in November, and they'd done some camera work as well, and they gave us the bad news that Mandy's cancer had come back, and of course it's gone into the lymph nodes, and this time they've said it's terminal, that she it's inoperable, they can't operate, and she can't have radiotherapy this time round. So she's had a round of chemo, she's had a round of chemo, and she's been having immunotherapy as well, and this is all to help extend her life, to give her as much time as possible. They realistically gave her 6 months without treatment, 12 months with treatment, so we're on a bit of a countdown. When this news all came through, I decided it's time to get the quilt top quilted, and I did a bit of a video, and I think I showed it in my last video. I'll pop some pictures in now, and I got the top quilting all done. This past week I've been working on making a jacket out of it. So if I just turn the camera around, whoops, bit of vibration there we go. So this is my Mandy quilt jacket. Let me tilt the camera down a bit, there we go. I did do a video, which I will put together when I've got all this finished, of the construction of the jacket and how I've gone about it. And it's put it a bit close up, there we are. Right, so it is just a simple edge to edge. It's not finished yet. I'm still working on the binding. I've done the binding on the neck, most of the bottom. I've still got the sleeves to finish, and this bit down here just to do the binding on as well, and then that will be all the binding finished, and then it will be ready to be worn. Mandy is coming down on Thursday this week. She just had a round of chemo last week. That is we think is probably her last round. And she's coming down on Thursday this week, and Friday we're going up to the Welsh Quilt Show, and I would like to be able to wear the jacket. The reason for making the jacket, it hasn't been pressed or nothing yet, so it will all get pressed. The reason for making the jacket is when Mandy goes, it's going to leave a real big hole in my life and in lots of people's lives. But she is my crafting sewing buddy, and we always go to shows and events together, and have done for many, many, many years now, perhaps about 15 years. And the thought of going to quilt shows and knitting shows and craft shows without her is very, very difficult to comprehend. So having Mandy's jacket means I can bring Mandy with me in spirit, at least. So yeah, so that's why I want to do a jacket, because I'll get a lot of use out of it, and it is a bit of Mandy that I can bring with me. But it's a Mandy and Dawn collaboration, because Mandy's done all the patchwork and I've done all the top quilting. I'm trying to do the jacket so it's reversible. Let me just turn it around for you so you can see what I mean. Oops. Pull the sleeves inside out. I didn't have a pattern when I was doing this jacket, so it was all very done. It was done being winged. I winged a lot of it. Right. So I will show this in more detail when I do put together the final bits of the video on the jacket. So the inside, as you can see, all it is the top stitching. The binding, of course, will come round, just like on the collar. But what I have done is I've bound all the seams, all bound, which I've never done before. And I'm quite pleased with that. So that sort of makes a bit of just a bit of interest on the reverse side, so I would be able to wear it reversible. I'm thinking of doing a patch pocket and maybe using that side facing as a pocket there, or I might just do a pocket with this but with the black binding around it. Haven't decided on that yet. The pocket can be added at a later date. So that's what else I've been working on. So I cut that all out last weekend and I've been stitching it together. I'm not a dressmaker by any means, but I know a little bit about it, and I know enough about how to put things together. So, but doing the bound seams, I was really, really pleased with how they turned out. Yeah, so that's what I've been busy doing this past fortnight, along with things around the small holding, of course, which have needed doing. And I've had Friday, was it Friday? No, Thursday. Wednesday I go to the craft group, a local craft group. Thursday I went to meet up with the machine embroidery ladies, and so that was like a whole day sewing, and I took this to finish the hand stitching on the binding. I did some, but I didn't get it all done. And these are the ladies I'm going on a retreat with next March. So that's about where I am, what I've been doing. Got a few bits here to catch up on, but I've got quite a few. Whoops, try to move the camera back a bit there. I have got quite a few big projects finished or nearly finished. I'm going to sit and finish the binding on this tonight because I really want it done when Mandy comes down this Thursday. That is going to go in the post tomorrow. I did also get news that an elderly neighbour who I knew has passed away. Her funeral's in a couple of weeks. So yes, there's been other personal bits and pieces going on, and there's been stuff going on with the parents as well. We have actually got social workers coming out next week, so we're hoping things move forward with that. So yeah, so there's been lots happening, but I'm still getting bits and pieces done. Hopefully by the time I could do my next video, I'll have some more finishes to show you, because I've only got another 2 weeks of this month. Is it 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks, and that'll be done. And then I'm going to try and do a little bit of videoing at the quilt show. On this, so we're going to the quilt show on Friday. Saturday we're going to a crafty stash down at Aberporth on Saturday morning, which is a little seaside fishing village place. So we're doing that Saturday morning, and then we'll grab a bit of lunch down there as well before heading back here. I'm not planning on buying anything at the D-Stash. Oh, but you never know. You never know what's going to turn up in, you know, in your shopping bag. And then I really have to crack on then the last week of the month getting projects finished, otherwise I'm going to fall behind with my boxes, and before I know it, it'll be time to open the March box. So that's where I'm at, and yeah, so thank you very much for everybody for tuning in, and I hope to catch up again with you next weekend with some updates on the quilt show and everything else that's been going on here. Thank you very much.